Hey everybody, welcome back to Aora. This episode is going to be a slightly more somber affair, especially for poor Eder. We are traveling down to the lower level of the ruined temple of Eothas in Gilded Vale. And it is not quite as Eder remembers it from his youth.
I'll see what I can find.
Now, it's strange looking back. All the time I spent here growing up. Never seeing what was coming.
So unsurprisingly, this place is full of spirits, little fragments of soul essence that did not quite make their way to the next life and are in varying states of distress. The problem with spirits from a combat standpoint is that they make it very hard for you to properly position everyone in combat, because they can just teleport wherever they want. So this is one of those things where my usual strategy of bringing people out of stealth at various points, bringing the squishier people out of stealth last, is often a good strategy because...
And what does the flame reveal?
With spirits, you can't just place everybody the way you want them, because spirits can just teleport right into the middle of your group. So if the spirits can see a person, they are able to attack. So stealth is pretty important when dealing with spirits. Do I have any traps that I can set? I don't. Actually, let me check my inventory and see. I've got some traps. I just haven't put them in Tamwen's quick items, which I should always do. Do we have any traps in the stash? We don't. We just have the one little poison dart trap, which probably isn't going to do much to spirits anyway. So yeah, once again, all I can really do here is get our tougher guys to go in and unstealth first. In this case, that little druid that I made kind of counts as one of our tougher guys at the moment. She's not super tough, but so we just get their attention with Eder, and then hopefully he can engage them. I didn't want him to move that far in, because then, everybody's just kind of crammed in the doorway there. I do not like that. See, this druid would be a lot more durable if she would just do what her AI is supposed to be telling her to do, and spirit shift right away. Because in her boar woman form, she regenerates endurance. I think we're going to need a rest. This is not the most comfortable place to, have a little nap. But I think we're going to have to, because as you can see, some people's health bars are getting yellow. Now I have a fireball trap in my inventory because I just... Wow, Tamwen. I just disarmed it off that chest. Any trap you disarm, it actually goes into your inventory.
I see where you're going with that.
Okay, let's have everybody come in here and just have a little rest if we can. Because we're not doing well. And then I'll make sure everybody has their inventory sorted out. Okay. Put that trap in her little quick slot. She is not wearing a ring of protection. And she ought to be. Who needs some more endurance? Who is not already wearing something useful? Oh, Eothas is not wearing anything useful around his neck, so I'm going to give him that. Also going to put some of these scrolls in his quick items, as well as that potion. If you don't have them in your quick item slot, you can't use them, so... I think Tamwen actually needs these gloves for the dexterity bonus. And once again, Durance has a couple of scrolls which I did not actually put in his quick slot. I have never in my life used a scroll of Tanglefoot, so I'm just going to put that in the stash. And I don't have Eder using his new shield either. Dealing with inventory is boring and it doesn't make for very exciting streaming, but like it is a thing that I just have to do every so often. Okay, reflex and a healing bonus. Let's give that to Durance. Rope and grappling hook can go in the stash. This is all stash stuff. Did he learn the spells from Ludrana's grimoire? Oops, not Durance, I meant Eothas. Okay, he's learned all of those spells, so we can put that in stash as well. Ludrana's travels, Arbalest. Okay, let's give some potions to our tank. And there, now we have a nice clean inventory. And everybody's rested, so let us...
Not a sound.
Continue. It's very quiet and creepy in here. Faint sounds of water dripping, and oh no! I have been piling everything into mechanics for Tamwen, but she really needs to get better at stealth. Otherwise, she's going to end up being our tank, which she is not well suited for. Now when I hover over various enemies, you can see as their stats begin to reveal themselves. You can't know things about your enemies right away. You have to fight a few of them before those start to show up. But those tooltips can be very useful once you have the information. Let's start heading toward the west, because by the rule of Pillars of Eternity dungeons, our exit is going to be on this side somewhere. And we want to try to get everything we can out of this dungeon. Oh! Once again. So I'm just going to pop Eder out of stealth so that the spirit sees him right away. This is a shadow, which is a type of spirit. And lore-wise, shadows are kind of interesting. They're sort of incomplete fragments of soul essence, and they sort of vampirically try to feed off the soul essence of others. But they aren't strong enough to do it to, like, fully awake and healthy people, and so they will often find sleeping people and sort of drain their souls as they sleep, which gives them terrible nightmares. That's the room we were just in. So if I recall correctly, and I do, this room is kind of a pain in the butt. I am not even going to bother using Tamwen as a scout because I know there aren't any deadly traps in this room, and I just want to make sure that she does not get the attention of these guys. Gonna have our druid run in here too. Alright. Druid, please turn into a giant boar. And the rest of you can start making your way in here too. Let's get our healer in here. I can't remember if spirits can be knocked prone or not. I believe they can. Durance has this now really quick per encounter interdiction spell, which I always like to use at the beginning now because it gives us a little bit of an advantage, and he can do it so quick that it doesn't really waste a lot of time. Looks like we didn't even really need our 2 squishies. But let's go ahead and bring them into the room anyway. We're going to need Tamwen in a minute, but she's just not all that needed right now. Tamwen got in a blinding shot. Thanks, AI. I almost hate calling the
That looked like it hurt.
computer-controlled combat AI now, because now it's like a whole different connotation and vibe to talk about AI. But it just used to mean the computer-controlled combat strategy.
Yeah!
Right. I really wish she wouldn't
Give me
yell
a
like
real
that
challenge.
every single time I try.
Give me a real challenge.
I'll
Okay.
teach you a lesson.
She's really aggressive about disarming traps. And okay, so here's the thing. This chest looks fairly innocent now that it's been untrapped, but I know from experience that it is not innocent, so I'm going to get everybody close to it and out of stealth so that hopefully I'm going to move Tamwen away because a mean thing is going to come out of here. Cloak of an Eothasian priest. I always give, even though it's not particularly tank oriented, I always give it to Eder because if anyone's going to wear the cloak of an Eothasian priest, it's him, and it even has the little symbol on it and everything. Okay, yeah, we're fine. This guy really is only a problem if he sneaks up on you and you aren't ready for him. But we were ready. I moved our squishy gal away, so... Ooh, Alof got a big chunk taken out of him, but he's going to be alright. Okay, and I think that's everything we need from this room.
I'll see what I can find.
The sound doesn't translate well to my little broadcast, but if you ever get a chance to play this game for yourself, you really should play it with a great pair of headphones on, because some of the ambient sounds in this game are just so beautiful and moody. They really set the tone. Once again, because I know there aren't traps here, I'm gonna send our beefy guys in first instead of our ostensible scout. Tamwen, you can just step back a little. But I really want Eder to get the brunt of whatever comes at us first. There are more spirits in here. This whole level is almost entirely spirits. There are a few slimes and things, as you will often find, or oozes, I guess we want to call them, as you'll often find in dark, dank, abandoned places such as this. I'm being very careful about placement by habit, mostly. There are, even on normal mode like we're playing, there are some battles that if you're not positioned properly, you're toast. But the reason that I sometimes err on the side of overcaution is that I've been playing this on hard mode. Usually before I do a section for a broadcast, I play it through on my ranger character. And her game is on hard mode, so I get used to having to be a little bit more careful. I find it interesting that you can knock spirits prone. You can just bash him with his shield and knock him down. I'm not sure how that works with an incorporeal spirit, but I'm not going to complain about it. Do a little healing there. I've still got enough guys in play that he should use his interdiction. What does interdiction do? Why, thank you for asking. It dazes everybody in the area of effect. What that does is, let me see how I can... The battle music is still going. Yeah, so it reduces their accuracy. It's going to make it harder for them to hit you. And also, it reduces 3 of their stats by 2. And it reduces their attack speed. So interdiction is a great thing to start a battle with. I just keep forgetting. Anyway, I'm going to unpause so the combat music can finally stop. Okay, so here we are. We've gotten rid of the spirits. So what do we have here? A wheel. And you can hear it's draining water. And what that does is it allows passage down these stairs over here, which we hadn't actually explored yet, but if we had tried to go that way first, we would have seen it was impossible to proceed because the water was too deep. But now we've drained that out. So once again, Eder and... See, if I were really clever, I could figure out how to select them both at once. But the PlayStation makes this really hard. I'm going to try it. Multi-select. I did it! Alright. So these two are going to head down here. Although the way I have my formation set up, she was trailing so far behind, it didn't really matter. Eder, why don't you use a little second wind there? Please turn into a boar, Luani. And I keep... You know, this is actually the first time that I've made heavy use of interdiction, which is why I keep forgetting to do it. In previous games, I just never even really took that ability. I focused so much on my priest's healing stuff that I didn't pay a lot of attention to the fact that he had this wonderful per encounter debuff thing. In a game like this, especially on harder difficulties, you really want to make sure that you're paying attention to every single thing that each of your companions can do. It's a lot of micromanaging, which is why a lot of people are not super into this game. Most modern games don't require that much micromanaging. But it can be really satisfying because it sort of exercises a different part of your brain, the kind of like strategic forethought. It's not just about reflex and responding quickly in the moment. There's a lot of forethought that goes into it, and that can be a lot of fun to feel yourself getting better at that as you play. So I'm just going with, oh no, Luani is stuck behind someone. Tamwen needs to get out of Luani's way so that she can get in the room. Because that's a lot of spirits. This might be a tricky one because we had a little traffic jam there in the door. And when the battle gets tricky, that means having everybody use everything they got. Sometimes in an easier battle you can just kind of rely on the AI and auto attack and stuff, but this is one of those situations where everybody needs all hands on deck. I always set up my game to auto pause each time one of my companions uses an ability. That way I make sure everybody's always doing something. Once they stop using an ability, I'm immediately ready to have them do something else. Tamwen is pretty much out of tricks right now, though. All she can do is shoot things. Uh-oh. We have a problem here. This person is way too close to Eder. I'm going to have him use Arcane Veil to protect himself a little bit. And I'm going to focus all possible DPS on the people who are not attacking Eder. So that means you too, Durance. Because Eder will be okay over here. He can keep knocking these spirits down and just... But we need to get that guy out of the way. Right, okay.
You're not getting through me.
And now we've got everybody focusing fire on the same targets. We're all good. I'm going to use one more knockdown though because we have it. His knockdowns are kind of slow though. Sometimes by the time he gets around to using them, the guy's already dead. Alright. Let's see if there's anything hidden in this room. There's some non-hidden loot, which usually is not as good as the hidden loot. If you have to work harder for something, it's usually a little bit more rewarding. Good life lesson. Okay, more loot over here, and a crumpled note. This would be a little bit of a clue for you in how to find that key that we found, but we got it without needing the note. Interesting side note, this person's name would be pronounced Jester, I think. Yeah. This is a very weird language. One of these days I'm going to study up beforehand, and in one of these videos I'm going to give you like a full lesson on the weirdness of the primary language used in this game and its various odd pronunciations. Because I'm kind of a linguist geek when I'm not being a gamer geek, so I really love conlangs or constructed languages. Boy, Eder's looking kind of puny there. Once again, we need a rest, and we haven't found any more camping supplies. Interdiction, because why not? Spirit shift. Again, these per encounter abilities, there's literally no reason ever to not use them. Unless your clumsy fingers just can't figure out how to push the button. And I'll... Wait, Arcane Veil... Oh, that's per rest. Never mind, not using that. Absolutely never waste per rest abilities on an easy fight. I love Tamwen getting a little salty when that shadow appeared right behind them. That may have been coincidental, but it was well timed. So here we have another staircase, but this is not a third separate level of the dungeon. It's still within the same map here, but we're getting near the end of it. And because we're getting near the end of it, I'm going to go ahead and use another camping supply, because we can always buy more at the Blackhound Inn. We're not so poverty-stricken now that we have to. So we have a little nap, and Tamwen wakes to the sensation of being shaken. You open your eyes to see Eder standing over you, his hand jostling your shoulder. He looks concerned. Your eyes are heavy and your vision blurred, the vague unease of unremembered nightmares clouding your thoughts. You're not sure you slept at all.
Hey! Hey! You awake? Good. You were kind of thrashing around, eyes rolled back in your head. You were shaking. Trying to snap you out of it for a long time now. Thought I was gonna have to get a bucket of cold water. You don't seem like you get much rest at night. You got those dark circles under your eyes.
And Tamwen, yeah, this is mean, and I hate to be mean to Eder, but Tamwen would say, mind your own business.
You say so. You'd better wake up faster next time. Trust me, you don't want that bucket of cold water.
Eder, why don't you go first, please, into the scary place? And then maybe we should all just head back. See if we can avoid all these slimes spitting at us at once. Because we've got oozes, sorry, we've got a couple of oozes and a spirit. And the oozes, the annoying thing about them is that they spit at you. And they can't be knocked down. So, Eder, let's have you run and try to knock down the spirit. Oh, we got a lot of things coming at us. Alright. Time to play hardball. Interdiction. We need a giant boar lady. Have Tamwen go ahead and blind a spirit because she can. Make sure everybody's doing something useful. Where's that spirit I was going to have him knock down? He can't reach it because he's surrounded by oozes that he can't knock down. Okay. So in that case, I'm going to have him drink a little endurance regeneration potion. And we're just going to take these fellas out one at a time. Okay, somebody's hurt pretty bad. That spirit, that's good. I gotta say, this game is all about positioning, and positioning is one of the hardest things to do properly on the PS5. It's much easier on the PC, but that's okay. I appreciate a challenge. And I am determined to get good at this. These are all oozes, so I cannot knock them down. You can see immune to, and then it has a list of all the things it's immune to, and unfortunately prone is one of them. Let's have our druid give us a little bit of a regeneration effect as well for all of us. Can we blind an ooze? No, they're blind. They're immune to blinding as well. None of my guys' stuff works. Okay, Alof, let's, do some minor missiles. Because even though oozes don't seem like they're particularly scary, if you get a lot of them, they can make mincemeat of your party with all their little acidic spit.
That's it!
Okay, I think I managed that battle pretty well. I mean, it could have been better. There's always room for improvement in a game like this, but...
Not a sound.
The still, dark waters are as reflective as black glass. That's a staircase leading up and out, and we have not yet found what we're looking for, our ultimate objective here, so it is not time to leave. But I don't know if you can hear it, but there is the sound of a restless spirit, and there's a switch on the wall. This is a section of text that I am not going to read to you word for word, because it's just too upsetting and gross. But there are some clues. There are faint scratches on the brickwork by the door hinges. Some of the gold leaf on the relics has chipped away. There are tooth marks on one of the bowls.
Something you don't see every day.
And this room is full of skeletons, and they are lying in positions that do not look like they fell in battle. Found some hidden stuff here. Here's a book about Animancy that you can pause and read if you would like.
Consider it done.
I'm going to go ahead and loot this place before I get to the
There. What did I tell you?
gruesome objective. I like to have Eder use this flail for a while for the same reason I like to give him the Eothasian priest's cape, because it's just very religious. It's a religious weapon of sorts, and you know, he is a follower of Eothas. So, and Gone is one of Eothas's sort of manifestations. I don't know if you remember Eder talking about that before a little bit, sort of the farmer's version of the god. As you can tell, I'm just putting off as much as possible talking to this poor lost spirit here by looting everything in the room and babbling about whatever. But it's time for Tamwen to talk to the poor spirit here. And like I said, I am not going to read this. I will summarize for you, but you can always pause and read it if you want. But basically, Wirtan locked them in here so that they would be safe when Radric's men came. But then he was never able to come back and let them out. So they all starved to death and died of thirst, locked in this vault with all of their religious relics. So what would Tamwen say to this spirit? She is neither passionate nor particularly aggressive. She is definitely not benevolent. I think she would say nothing. The spirit withdraws into itself, but it lingers still. And Eder says, no matter how many times I see you staring off at nothing, it doesn't get less weird. So Tamwen is going to gather the remains. Everybody's going to help carry them out. And I'm not going to make the mistake that I always do and think, okay, we're all done here. I'm just going to run up the stairs unstealthed. And
easy does it.
Because there is one final encounter, and it's a bit of a doozy. I have so many times just run into this room thinking I was done. And then I think it's literally the king of the Skuldr up here. Yeah, let's see. Skuldr King. Do not blunder into the Skuldr King. And he's got a knockdown of his own. That's no fair. That's my thing. Come on, controls. Do your thing. We're gonna rush Durance in here as well for the heals. Eder has pretty good regeneration, so I try not to panic. I'm not sure why the druid is still loitering back there. Don't think we can blind Skuldr. It doesn't say we can't. Might as well try it. Nothing to lose. It's a per encounter ability. And I think it's safe for you two to unstealth. Let's give you your second wind. And now let's start knocking folks down. Uh-oh. Stray Skuldr. I'm going to have him continue engaging the king while the rest of us knock out that little guy. Okay, now we can all gang up on the king here. It's regicide time.
It's not very...
It's time for a new regime among the Skuldr, I'm afraid. Well, what's left of them, if any. Once again, I forgot to use Interdiction. I'll just use it because why not? Per encounter. He managed to knock the king down, and now he's writhing around on the floor. And now he's dead. Farewell, Your Majesty, you weird bat creature. Very regal bat creature. And another little gift for Eder. I basically give Eder everything from here because it's the Temple of Eothas, you know. Anything we pick up in here, I feel like he has the right to wield or wear. And we'll just stuff those in stash. Tamwen's got a couple of new traps to put in her quick items. And pretty soon, the next time I take us into a very dangerous dungeon type situation, I'm going to start actually showing you how to use some traps. Some of them aren't super exciting, but they can be useful, and every little bit helps. As you step over the circle of candles, you hear a rattling clunk from the wall nearby. A door slides open with the grinding rasp of stone. Hang on just a second. I gotta mute my mic for a second. Sorry about that. Random coughing spell. So, see these candles over here? They flicker. There's a gap above the altar lined with broken glass where a mirror may once have been set into the wall.
The candles are still burning. Not bad for a dead god.
What's all this for?
Redemption. And they got this whole rite for when you come of age. They take you by the hand and you descend through the temple with your eyes covered, and that's supposed to be like a wicked life. They don't tell you where you're going. I was sweating like crazy when I did mine. They take you to that reflecting pool back there, and you're allowed to look at it so you can face your sins. Then, you come out into this room, and you uncover your eyes again, and everyone's there to greet you, all your friends and family. It's like you've been redeemed. You light your candle, and it burns with the others. Never had a feeling better than that my whole life.
His eyes linger on the candles, and he seems for a moment to be a younger man.
It was nice to see those candles still burning. I figured they'd have gone out by now.
So now it's time to go back to Wirtan, the guy who locked all those people in there and left them. How do you think Tamwen is going to handle
Good day,
this situation? So she hands him the bones and she says, "You'll have to separate them out yourself. It's a bit of a mess." The color drains from his face. He takes the bundle with trembling hands. You found them then? He stares down at them. She says, "I found more than bones." "Something valuable? You mean? You can keep whatever you found. I don't want any of it. Nobody's been down below since, well, Radric's people have no interest in Eothasian goods, is my point. They won't miss whatever you take." "You're very nervous for an honest man. Something weighing on your conscience, maybe?" He opens his mouth to protest, but something in your expression stops him. He swallows and looks away. How did you... That place is full of shadows, spirits of those you killed. That's not... I didn't kill them right up until the end. You don't understand. I tried to help them. I did. Every day, every single day. I went to that temple and I warned them. I told them they were playing with fire and Radric wouldn't be patient forever. And every time they'd shrug it off like I didn't know what I was talking about. Like it wasn't costing me coming in to try to help them. I could have been arrested right alongside them. So you killed them because they wouldn't listen? No, of course not. I don't know. I think on it all the time, wondering. I told the commander the priest had left town, and he ordered the temple sealed. I remember that moment. It was like a dream, like I went away for a time. I watched them start bringing the place down, burn the tapestries, the books. It was like between one blink and the next, it was over. Too late to say anything. Eder, on the other hand, he's not having any of this. He says, "Too late to say anything. You had days to tell someone. I'd have dug them out with my own hands if I'd known. They were some of the last decent folk left in this hole. Now all we got left is people like you." Tamwen says, "Why did you send me down there?" "Because if Lord Radric means to have the temple cleared, they would have found the bones eventually. They'd know I lied to them when I said the priest left, and I'd hang. I don't know if Radric would have killed them. Maybe they'd be languishing in cells now. Maybe they'd be off somewhere in the Empire, and I'd have a night's peace. I told you the way of it. I told you what happened. Guess it's your turn now to make a decision. Tamwen says, I just want the money you promised. The rest is your own business. There's so many different ways you can handle that. My ranger killed him. She was so mad. She just, yeah, murdered him. And then my druid, Luani, when it was her turn to be the watcher, she just told him to make amends and, forgave him and stuff. But yeah, I like this game because there's so many different ways that you can handle any given situation. And that's all for this episode. I'm just going to get us out of here and back to the inn to set us up for next one. Because unlike a lot of the videos I do, this whole series is pretty much the entire playthrough. Every now and then I will do like a small thing in between videos to set up the next one, just inventory or something like that. But for the most part, you're literally seeing my entire playthrough, like every hour of it. So I'm just going to get us ready for next time. And might do a little inventory management, buying and selling at the end before next episode. But otherwise, we are just about ready to get out of this town, I think, and do some more exciting stuff. So I'm looking forward to it, and I will see you next time.